I think maybe I know they work with the city and is, but like try to work with maybe like accommodation places, like maybe see if they could make, we got this amount of people coming in, maybe work with a hotel, get like a discount or something, like weddings type of thing, right? So, something like that would be cool.
More coverage would be great. I think
Sure.
that's a fun part of having a kind of Ontario grow that way, get some notoriety towards our sport.
Yeah, growth in the high end is tough because, like, obviously we want to see more growth, more like, I don't know how to grow it, but like more money would be the best way, but that doesn't really work. But like, just getting a more competitive feel, maybe bigger tournaments where you have like 2 courses would be a lot better because it gets more people in and more people involved and more people feel included. I how do I say this?
I don't know, but with
Yeah.
that said, we appreciate all the TDs
Yeah.
out there, and like just
Yeah.
more of anything really. If you think it's a good way to run a tournament, it's better than not having one. So we appreciate people doing that.
And everybody likes a good players party, thing like that. Like you meet up at a bar the night before, get the social aspect and everything included is always fun. I don't like when it's mandatory, like it's taken out of your player's fee, but like an optional, be like, hey, we're meeting up at X bar the night before, come and hang out. It would be super fun. It's super good thing to add to a tournament.
Yeah, we weren't there, but I heard the croquet thing was fun.
Not croquet.
Crokinole.
Crokinole. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, the coconut.
Clearly
That
don't
was a fantastic idea.
That's a great
Good
idea,
on them
yeah.
for doing it.
I guess just maybe just concentrated more players in to make like a higher amount of players per division. So probably that would mean that you offer less divisions. And that might not be as inclusive, but I think it just drives for better competition. Especially if you're getting paid out or getting prizes for even getting 15th place because the division's big enough, it kind of makes you want to come back, even though you're not at the top, but you're good enough to, be in that top 40%.
More fans and more fan experiences. Maple Hill is like the only event that I think has really kind of figured it out. So more structure like that to make more fan engagement possible is, I think, something that everyone can benefit from.
I honestly, my biggest thing would be I would love to just start seeing like options just to opt out of players packs if they don't really need it. Other things, just better info online whenever for a tournament, just so a way I can not know what I'm throwing pretty early on when I'm signing up. Courses like the bigger tournaments, which courses that I'll be playing at early on, as early as possible, so that way I can, if I need to plan like accommodations, I can book something that's kind of in between the courses, and then between Taylor and I, because we normally will always play at the same tournaments, we'll be able to kind of figure out plans for if we can go to a course together, or if we need to find either bring separate cards or find rides with friends. That's one of my biggest things, just being able to have that info like almost as soon as possible. And then just so that way we can plan a little bit better.
Maybe I'll come up with something as I talk, but one thing that we've started to see a little bit more of that I hope we see or continue to see even more of is this optional players pack sort of format in a tournament that I've really loved. For me, tournament discs and stuff that I get in players packs usually end up going in a stack at the end of the year on Facebook, and it is nice in that moment to get a little bit of funds left for the amount that I spend on tournaments all year, maybe recuperate a little bit. But at the same time, that extra effort is something that I don't really want to go through. I have a stack of discs anyways from the ones that I want to try. I don't need to put more on my shelf. So, just, and it's a couple tournaments last year, put this, to use already of optional players packs, and have a baseline fee for registration. And then if you want the players pack, it's an additional $30 or whatever it is. So you have that option. And I think that's a great idea. It still gives some people really like getting a tournament disc and being able to collect that, and maybe having a giant wall of discs behind them when they're doing interviews. Although those ones might be even
most
a
of these
little
aren't
cooler.
tournament discs.
I was about to say those are probably even cooler than just tournament discs. But some people like to collect them. Some people I know will get tournament discs and will get their card mates to sign them as like a little keepsake from that weekend. It still gives those people the option to do it, but people that aren't as interested in it, like myself, gives them the option to have a little bit of a cheaper registration. And for somebody that plays as many tournaments as I have in the last 2 years, the cheaper I can make it, the better.
I mean, there's so many tournaments that exist, and so many of them do their own unique little things. Other than just continuing the growth of Canadian disc golf with more sponsors and more notoriety, more video coverage as it continues to grow, but as a generalization to all tournaments, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that wouldn't raise entry fees. So.
I would love to see the move away from super big players packs and keeping tournaments more affordable and doing either like a small merch out or just like a small players pack. Like, I don't need to do an $85, $90 tournament to get, 3 discs in a bag and all of this stuff. Like, I would much rather have a well-run tournament, make me pay, 40, $50. You keep like $30 for pass-through fees, whatever, and then just give me a disc and make the rest of the tournament better. Like, I don't want to be spending, $600 in a month on 3 tournaments. I want to be able to spend it because I want to be able to play as many tournaments as possible, but then the financial aspect comes into play. So I would love to have more economically friendly tournaments in the works.
From speaking with some of the folks that are attending these tournaments, like, number one priority should be better quality and more access to washrooms and those types of facilities. That's something that I wish was, available on every single course. It'd be amazing if, every single course had these immaculate, prestigious washrooms. And maybe that shouldn't be necessarily the expectation right now, but at the very least, during these tournaments, like some fresh porta potties, and enough to kind of satisfy the group. I think we're starting to get that a little bit more, but that's something that should always be kind of, a pressing issue. And then it'd be awesome, and I know this is like a wish, but just getting more sponsorships involved and maybe being more creative. So part of that might be a lot of tourism boards with municipalities, cities, things like that. I think could be more involved. These tournaments are bringing in, anywhere from 75 people in a one-day tournament to, upwards of 400 people on a 3-day tournament. If there's multiple courses, these are massive opportunities for tourism and other folks to get involved. And I think we just need to be a little bit more creative on who to reach out for sponsorships.